Iranian missiles hit Tel Aviv. Iran's strategy to destroy Israel. Netanyahu starts to panic because. Early Friday morning, a major emergency struck Israel as numerous Iranian missiles reportedly hit Tel Aviv and nearby areas. The attacks began at 1:30 a.m. local time, throwing Israel's economic hub into chaos. Air raid sirens blared, forcing millions of residents to rush to underground shelters. Loud explosions echoed across the city, followed by large flames lighting up the night sky. Amateur videos from residents captured scenes many described as the darkest night in modern Israeli history. Main roads were gridlocked with traffic jams, and public transportation stopped running. Television broadcasts, usually lively, went silent, replaced by the sound of explosions. Israeli military sources admitted that their Iron Dome defense system was overwhelmed by the sheer number of missiles launched at once. Iran's missiles came in massive waves, making the system ineffective. A Middle East military analyst jokingly said, "Iron Dome used to be a strong shield, but now it's like a leaky kitchen freezer." Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was rushed to an underground bunker with senior officials. Sources reported a chaotic emergency meeting with explosions audible even deep underground. Netanyahu, typically confident on camera, appeared nervous. An Israeli political observer remarked he looked like a beginner playing a tough video game without instructions. On social media, the situation went viral, with hashtag Tel Aviv under fire trending globally within an hour. Residents shared videos of panicked parents running with children and overwhelmed medical staff. Many criticized the Israeli military's failure to stop the attack. One social media user quipped, "Iron Dome? More like ironic doom," with a bitter laugh emoji. The Israeli Health Ministry has not released official casualty numbers, but field reports suggest thousands were injured due to collapsing buildings, fires, and debris. Hospitals in Tel Aviv were flooded with victims, with ambulances arriving constantly and corridors packed with people treated on the floor. A doctor told local media, "It feels like a battlefield, not a hospital." An Israeli military spokesperson called the attack an unprecedented escalation and promised a response, but many saw this as an empty attempt to calm the public. A satirical newspaper columnist wrote, "The IDF's promise of retaliation is like a New Year's diet plan, lots of talk, little action." The situation remains unstable, with large fires burning in several districts. Firefighting efforts are slow due to blocked roads. Thousands of families spent the night in cramped bunkers with limited oxygen. On social media, some users from other countries made memes comparing Tel Aviv's sky to New Year's fireworks. However, international analysts warned that continued attacks on this scale could destroy Israel's infrastructure and cause social collapse. An expert from Istanbul said, "Israel is used to attacks, but not ones this big. Now they're both the player and the target on the field." In Tehran, Iran's government announced the attack as part of Operation Quds Storm, a large-scale military campaign in response to alleged Israeli actions in the Middle East. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps claimed the first 1,000 missiles were just the start, with more ready to launch. Iranian media praised their missile technology, which included ballistic missiles and explosive drones aimed at overwhelming Israelis' defenses. A military technology observer cynically commented, "Iran's strategy is like spamming a group chat, flood the system until it crashes." Regional intelligence reports indicate Iran used a layered attack, combining medium-range missiles, short-range rockets, and drones to disrupt Israeli radar. This left Iron Dome struggling to keep up. A Turkish columnist joked, "It's like asking a parent to play a complex video game. They crash and burn." Arab military sources estimated thousands of missiles were fired in one night, far beyond Israel's defense capacity. Even the U.S., a key ally, struggled to provide quick help due to disrupted communications. In Iran, people celebrated with fireworks in Tehran, waving flags and chanting anti-Israel slogans. A viral social media post in the region mocked, "For Iran, missiles are like free texts. Why hold back when you can send thousands?" Israel faces a tough choice. Counterattacks are possible, but their missile range for overseas targets is limited. A defense analyst in Doha said, "The IDF is used to being the hunter, not the hunted. Now they're like chickens dodging firecrackers." Internationally, Washington called the attack a threat to global stability, but offered no clear military support. The European Union urged a ceasefire, though diplomats admitted such calls are like taking vitamin C for cancer, more hope than help. In Israel, media outlets reflected panic, with headlines declaring the skies unsafe and defenses failing. One editorial bitterly noted that Israel, once seen as invincible, is now a small nation with a bruised ego facing a harsh reality.
Recent reports indicate Iran has thousands more missiles ready at its western bases. An Iranian official boasted, "If Israel stays arrogant, we'll send more missiles. We're stocked until year's end." In Tel Aviv, the health ministry reported around 2,000 civilian injuries, while military sources confirmed about 5,000 IDF troops were killed or seriously injured in the first wave. Hospitals are overwhelmed, with field hospitals set up in stadiums. Ambulances and helicopters work non-stop, but the city looks post-apocalyptic, with debris-strewn streets, burning vehicles, and damaged buildings. An international journalist at the scene said, "Tel Aviv feels like a movie set, but this is real." At IDF headquarters, chaos reigns as units lose coordination due to damaged communications. A regional analyst quipped, "The IDF could form a ghost soccer team with their losses." The government is trying to control information, but social media is flooded with videos of explosions and destruction. One user mocked, "Iron Dome is better at taking selfies than stopping missiles." Netanyahu held another tense emergency meeting, with sources describing him as overwhelmed, repeatedly asking about damage reports. An observer joked, "He's like a restaurant manager whose kitchen is on fire but still smiling for customers." Civilian casualties keep rising, with field hospitals struggling to cope. Power, water, and telecoms are down in parts of Tel Aviv, and schools, offices, and malls are closed. A commentator noted, "Israel prides itself on tech, but no gadget can replace courage when missiles fall." Military morale is low, with some units hesitant to leave bunkers. A columnist darkly wrote, "The IDF, once fierce, now looks like a confused paintball team in a real war." In Jerusalem, Netanyahu faces intense political pressure. Opposition lawmakers criticized his slow response and failure to protect citizens. A small protest outside the Knesset was quickly dispersed. A satirical columnist wrote, "Netanyahu's like a failed influencer trying to hide a scandal with a filter." In a televised speech, he promised to strengthen defenses, but analysts called it empty rhetoric, like a placebo vitamin. Media questioned his leadership, with memes showing him panicking, captioned, "Trapped in a bunker, but his heart still on camera." The security cabinet is split between pushing for immediate retaliation and waiting to assess the situation, adding to Netanyahu's stress. An analyst quipped, he called himself a strategy master, but now he's mastering panic. Israelis anxiously await updates as public facilities remain closed, and local media report ongoing chaos in Tel Aviv. An international expert said, "When a nation crumbles, people learn not to trust even the most charismatic leaders." Globally, the UN called for an immediate halt to military action, but observers dismissed it as empty words. The US expressed support for Israel, but offered limited immediate help. The EU pushed for dialogue, while Arab states stayed mostly neutral, condemning Iran's attack without action. A Middle East analyst said, "The world's like a reality show audience, watching the drama but not stepping in." In Tehran, Iran touted the attack's success, claiming military dominance. Analysts warn this could spark a broader regional conflict, impacting oil prices, trade, and markets. Social media is filled with dark humor and memes, with one journalist joking, "Twitter's more powerful than the UN. It at least makes people smile amid destruction." Israelis await military and government updates as international media report on civilian, military, and infrastructure losses. Analysts say this crisis has opened a geopolitical Pandora's box, potentially reshaping the Middle East. The world faces a test. Can it handle modern warfare hitting city centers? Meanwhile, satirical comments and memes keep circulating, as for many, reality feels stranger than fiction. An international columnist bitterly noted, "While the world watches with popcorn, Tel Aviv stars in its darkest scene."